welcome back to Southern California. The Rockies will spend the next 4 days in Los Angeles against the Dodgers, and then it's up north to take on the Giants, who are trying to make the playoffs. They do not look like they'll make it as a division winner. It looks like the Dodgers are going to capture their 4th straight NL West crown. The Rockies this year are 7-8 against LA, 2-4 here at Dodger Stadium, and ready to go is Charlie Blackmon, having a gorgeous season. He'll step in against his former teammate Brett Anderson. And Anderson, who's thrown just 4 innings all year. His first pitch bounces up there, ball 1. He had back surgery in the offseason. Then when he finally got back, and I put this in air quotes, was healthy, he promptly had to deal with his own issue with blisters.
Yeah, so it's been 33 days between the starts for Brett Anderson.
Fastball's in there at 91 for a strike. Now there is no, we talked to Dave Robertson, there's no pitch limit on Brett Anderson tonight as long as he's effective.
Right, but that's going to be the big question. How effective can he be after being gone and out so long?
This is in the air to left, and it's handled by Andrew Toles, 1 out. Well, so far when he's pitched this year, he's been very ineffective. Here's the Southwest batting order for the Rockies tonight. DJ LeMahieu will bat 2nd, of course. Then it's Nolan Arenado, Carlos Gonzalez, Nick Hundley will bat 5th, David Dahl 6th. Steven Cardullo not in the original lineup. Gerardo Parra was, but Parra a little under the weather and was a late scratch. Daniel Descalso continues to swing the bat well, so he's in the lineup, and Tyler Chatwood. So originally there were 5 lefties against Brett Anderson. They're now 4 lefties for the Rockies, but Walt's playing the hot hand, and that's why you're seeing so many of the left-handed bats in there this evening.
Well, in the limited amount of innings that Brett has thrown in the 4 innings, he's given up 14 hits. I mean, lefties were .833 against him.
Well, it's not good when your fastball, which is everybody's primary pitch, is being hit to the tune of a .625 batting average. Again, small sample size. Here's the 1-1, and that's at the knees. A strike, 1 and 2 on DJ. DJ, speaking of glowing numbers, there are so many of them attached to the back of his baseball card. .363 batting average in the 2nd half for the leading hitter in the National League. Waste that pitch.
DJ's always hit well too here at Dodger Stadium in San Francisco. We know what he does at home, so this sets up nicely for him to continue the lead that he has in the batting title.
One, 2. When Brett Anderson is right, and you know his story, having pitched for the Rockies, when he's right, he gets a high number of ground balls. The problem is he has battled so many injuries in his career, and many of them have nothing to do with playing baseball. I mean, he's the guy that honestly should live in a padded room right now, because it seemed for a while that whatever Brett did, was getting out of the shower or rolling your ankle walking down the stairs, well, he had some bad luck.
Even just swinging the bat, broke a finger.
This is grabbed by Adrian Gonzalez, and he didn't think he'd get to the bag in time, so he kind of ran at LeMahieu, and DJ tried to slide under the tag, but he's out.
Those are the scary ones for a runner going down to the bag, because you know Adrian Gonzalez on the Subaru Supermo is trying to cut you off, so your angle and where to go is limited. So DJ tries to slide, almost like a hook slide out and around Adrian, but then he tags it. But after that, you go rolling and tumbling. Those are the ones I've seen guys get hurt on.
So Nolan steps up with 2 outs and nobody on. And that's on the outside corner. He turns that fastball over, and that's why last year he made 31 starts. He had the highest ground ball rate in baseball, better than 59%.
You see a couple guys that can throw some ground balls at you. Tyler Chatwood, when he comes out here.
Yep, Chatty, one of the best at inducing ground balls as well. Time now for the Mako big hit yesterday. Bases loaded, first pitch, and he takes Luke Weaver deep. His 4th career grand slam. And the Rockies were on their way. They end up winning 11-1 behind a 12-hit attack yesterday. taking 1 out of 3 from St. Louis. 73 and 79 are the Rockies. The Dodgers are 20 north of 500, 86 and 66. And again, they're 6 games clear of the Giants after taking 2 of 3 from San Francisco at Dodger Stadium, including 9-3 yesterday. They got off to a fast start, just like the Rockies yesterday.
That's because Moore gave up 5 runs in the first inning after the last time he stepped out of Dodger Stadium, almost threw a no-hitter.
Brett Anderson goes off speed. He strikes out Nolan Arenado, and it's a 1-2-3 first for Brett Anderson. Tyler Chatwood on the Dodger Stadium mound when we come back. Bottom of the first inning. Tyler Chatwood in his career has always liked pitching in Dodger Stadium, not far from where he grew up. 3-2 of the 136 lifetime ERA here at Dodger Stadium. Andrew Toles, he can swing it. He's at 341. He'll bat behind Utley. Corey Seager at 317. Adrian Gonzalez, Yasmani Grandal. Josh Reddick has finally picked it up after the trade from Oakland. He's been hitting the baseball hard in September. Jock Peterson, Howie Kendrick will bat 8th, and then Brett Anderson.
And you mentioned Tyler Chatwood here at Dodger Stadium with that 136. He's given up only 5 earned runs in 33 innings pitched. A lot of ground balls this year. 57% of the time getting that ground ball.
Well, that first pitch was lined to left and a base hit for Utley.
No waiting around for Chase Utley. It's going to be fastball, slider, changeup, curveball for Tyler. We've seen him at times this year only throw, 8 or 9 out of just a handful of off-speed pitches.
You're going to get that heavy, heavy sinker. Here's Andrew Toles. He's 4 for 5 against the Rockies this year, including a swing we'd all like to forget, that grand slam against Adam Ottavino that turned what looked like a probable Rockies win into an improbable loss. This guy's had a major impact since being called to the big leagues.
373 in his last 25 games.
He uses, Huey, a really big, heavy bat, which is so unusual these days. Most guys are 33.5, 34, usually 31.5, 32 ounces standard across the board. Now, different models. Some are a little, a little bigger in the barrel, that sort of thing. This kid uses a 34-ounce bat.
Wow. Because the last guy that would use a real heavy bat that I can remember is Lance Johnson. Remember the one
what was
dog?
it, 36, 36 or something?
Yeah, and Lance wasn't very big. Might have been a little smaller than Andrew. But he would just think, I need to start using my hands, and that's what he did.
1-2 on Toles, trying to get a ground ball. get a quick 2 outs. Utley with a conservative lead at first. Step and a half. That's it. This was a token throw over to Cardullo.
Yeah, I don't worry about him a whole lot. The Dodgers as a ball club don't steal many bases. 43 stolen bases for LA, but Chase Utley 2 for 4. So he's not looking to run.
37. He's gonna swing the bat, and swinging through that offering is Andrew Tolles. 1 out, and that'll bring up Seager.
Shortstop number 5, Corey Seager.
Corey Seager in his first full season in the big leagues. He and Trevor Story battling, throwing up numbers like few had ever seen. And Trevor's numbers still holding up amazingly with Seager. He has more RBIs, got more home runs. I like that by Chatwood. Make him a little uncomfortable. Move him off the plate. 1-0.
Well, you have to, because he's such a gifted hitter that he can hit fastballs in and out. He's really adept at curveballs, hitting the off-speed pitches. So you have to mix it up on Corey.
Good pitch at the knees for a strike. Here's a comparison. Trevor Story has not played in almost 7 weeks.
Yeah, July 30th.
Actually, more than 7 weeks. He still has hit 2 more home runs and has 3 more RBIs. That's not taking anything away from Seager. Seager's been great. He's going to win the Rookie of the Year. It would have been interesting, obviously, had Trevor been able to stay healthy. I really believe, that was a pardon-moi swing, 1 and 2. I really believe he would have hit 40 home runs.
Oh yes,
he would have hit 40. He'd had 100+ RBIs playing shortstop as a young kid in the big leagues. Amazing. Both of these guys are
bright futures. I mean,
they have bright presence.
True, but the game of baseball for shortstops, these 2 guys are going to be leaders for a while.
The Rockies
in the National League, you got Correa in the American League. There's a nice crop of shortstop.
We just saw a good player in Aledmys Diaz, shortstop for the Cardinals. It's been a tough 2 months. I know that for Trevor Story. For him not to be able to play, no fun. Two balls, 2 strikes on Seager. Utley had a lead single. And there's your double play ball. And that's all for the Dodgers. Good job by Tyler Chatwood. He gets Seager to roll into a 6-4-3. We'll go to the second. Storylines. The Dodgers hold a 6-game lead over the Giants. DJ's reached in 37 consecutive games. Charlie Blackmon had a base hit yesterday. He has another 10-game hitting streak going. His 5th hitting streak this year of 10 or more games, which ties a club record. Larry Walker did it, and Eric Young did it. So we go to the top of the second inning with Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborg. Spilly will be along shortly. I'm Drew Goodman. It's Carlos Gonzalez leading off. An RBI shy of 100 as he says hello to Alfonso Marquez, our home plate umpire this evening. Larry Vanover is the crew chief. Larry's at first. Dave Rackley is at second. Mark Rippiger is at third. There's Larry Vanover. Pretty and very comfortable night in Los Angeles. And Cargo hits a bullet up the middle for a base hit. So the Rockies have the leadoff man on to the second as Nick Hundley will come up.
Much like what Chase Utley did to Tyler Chatwood. Cargo says, I can do that to you, Brett Anderson. Belt high fastball on the Subaru Super Mode, takes it right back up the middle. Nice little line drive single to start this inning off for Colorado.
You know, Nick's had a really good last month. He's in the lineup tonight, sharing time with Tony Walters and Tommy Murphy behind the plate.
A trio combined for a lot of home runs and RBIs. You know what I think it is for Nick though this last month? His parents are here again. We've seen him a lot. We went San Diego.
They may get parents of the year.
Well, I thought we were going to give it to him in mid-August, but now here in September they're still traveling.
You know, they have the time, and that's awesome.
Why not?
You know,
I would do that too.
Yeah, Tim's not coaching anymore. Brett's the son of a coach. His dad was at Oklahoma State when he was younger. 2 balls and a strike. Anderson last year made 31 starts. First time he was healthy in a while. And he had a ERA well under 4. Good solid season for Anderson.
That was the first time that he's made 30 starts.
Well, in 4 of the previous 5 years, if you take away last year when he made 31 starts, you go back the previous 4, and this year he's made a whopping total of 21 starts combined.
Go back to that 2014 season. You had the back issue and then the finger that he broke on the swing in San Francisco.
And in the 8 starts with Colorado, he pitched well. He had a 2.91 ERA. Two on Hundley. And a line drive down the right field line. That's a fair ball. It's going to run into the corner. Cargo to third. Stu Cole is going to wave him home as he was bobbled momentarily by Reddick. No throw. Rockies take a 1-0 lead. Stay hot, Nick Hundley.
Well, he took a pitch up and away and did exactly what you're supposed to do with this. He waited for it to come to him and then hit it down the right field corner. Now, I know Josh Reddick has been playing here about 33 games now, at least with the Dodgers, but see where that pitch was? Belt high, he takes it the other way. But watch after it kicks off of this corner. It's really rounded there. Hard to pick up the ball, and Josh fumbles it. And then Stu Cole, who's back coaching third base. Welcome back, Stu, because you're feeling better. But also give credit to Cargo, because he didn't just assume that he was going to have to stop at third. He ran hard the whole way, and Stu waved him in.
So an RBI double for Nick Hundley. Actually, now they've changed it. They say it's an E9 on the bobble, no RBI, which I understand, though Cargo never broke stride. And David Dahl lashes a base hit to left. They'll hold Hundley as Tolles quickly gets it to Kendrick, the cutoff man. And it's first and third. 3 straight hits in the second. Greet Brett Anderson. David Dahl continues to punish left-handed pitching.
And he continues to go the other way. We saw it in the St. Louis series a few times. One as a pinch hitter, he hit that 5.5 hole between short and third. This one was more on the line to left field. Not intimidated at all is David. Lefty or right-handed. Now Stephen Cardullo, as you said, Drew, didn't know until about 45 minutes to an hour before game time that he was going to be in the lineup.
Now sometimes those are the days you have your best evenings. Walt certainly hopes so.
You know, for Stevens, I'm in Dodger Stadium. I don't care. I want to start.
Right now he wants to get something he can lift and get that runner at third home. First and third. Dahl a threat to run at first. Of course, Brett Anderson makes it a little more difficult being left-handed, and Brett, pretty shrewd guy on the mound.
That's where you go.
Yep.
Good read.
You were on it. Read the dirt ball.
Right. Because if you're not going to be able to steal the base with the left-hander, he's going to hold you, freeze you. Your first step is a half step back. What I do, though, is I track the baseball, see the angle, the downward trajectory. He sees that, reads it, but it also helps that there's somebody at third base. So he knows, well, I got to check that, as Grandal does, before I get to second.
So now 2 ribs out there for Stephen Cardullo. And he's got a 2-0 count. 2-1. Daniel Descalso's on deck.
That's not a pitch. I know it was a strike in the Subaru strike zone, but that's not a pitch you're sitting on 2-0. That big curveball at 78 miles an hour.
Trying to go change up away, and it's 3-1 on Cardullo. Infield's back. Rockies already have a run in on the double by Hundley. Cargo began the inning with a single to center. Good at bat, and they're loaded up for Descalso.
That was a veteran at bat from a rookie.
We've seen that. We've seen him be very patient at the plate and have a great idea of his strike zone.
Because Brett, I think, threw the pitches that he wanted to throw in the location he wanted to throw, because he said, well, I got a rookie, he's going to be over anxious. He's going to try to swing at something just to get these runs in, and Steven didn't do that.
Well, now you got another guy at the plate who's swinging the bat very well in Daniel Descalso. Folks, when the Rockies score 7 runs or more as they did yesterday, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special with Masa Taco Bell. Rick Honeycutt is done with his conference. Brett Anderson had a 1-2-3 first inning. The first 4 here in the second have reached. Hundley, Dahl, and Cardullo. And this ball's hit well to left field. Toll's going back, and in front of the track will make the catch. Tagging and coming home is Hundley, and it's 2-0. Nice piece of hitting there by Daniel Descalso, and he has his 38th RBI.
Smart from Daniel. First fastball I see. It's almost like a pitch hitter here. I'm going to swing at it, and that's an easy pitch to elevate. The one that's away and up, easy to hit a fly ball to left field. Daniel does that. I was going to say, before he went to the plate, though, the good thing for him is you knew you had somebody like Tyler hitting behind you. So he's going to have to pitch to you and not try to kind of work around it.
Chatwood gets the bunt down, and because David Dahl got a great jump, good secondary lead as well, and to boot is very fast, even though it was literally 1.5 feet in front of the plate. Grandal looked at third and he said, I got no shot.
And it helped, though, that Howie Kendrick wasn't at third base. He's not used to playing there as much as Justin Turner. So when he started to come after this ball, you can see him right in the frame. It's Grandal saying, well, I don't have anybody to throw to at third base.
So a successful sacrifice for Chatwood, 2 outs, and the second at bat for Charlie Blackmon. Hit a fly ball to left, leading off the ball game. Charlie takes a strike. Blackmon came in at .323. Third in the National League in batting average. Pretty nice when you have in the top two spots of your lineup the third leading hitter in the league and the top hitter in the league. And then, oh, by the way, depending on if you're facing a righty or lefty, you have, as is the case tonight, Nolan, who leads the league in RBIs and home runs. And then you have Cargos on the cusp of 100 RBIs.
That's quite the gauntlet to navigate.
Slowly hit. This is in a tough area. Charlie up the line. No play. Ruddle score. 3-0. And Blackmon has an infield hit. Utley had no shot. You're just looking around the diamond, seeing if anybody strayed. Dahl scores, and the Rockies lead it 3-0 here in the top of the second.
Love the way things are being manufactured this inning, but also putting the ball in play. And this one just gets by a diving Brett Anderson. And remember, Brett's coming off of back surgery that he had in March with the bulging disc. This is not going to help this back when he goes flat onto the ground, stretched out. Now in the Super mode, we were going to see in a moment Chase Utley coming after that ball, had no shot at getting Charlie.
So LeMahieu at the plate. Strike on DJ. He had a ground ball to Adrian Gonzalez in the first. Right at .350 for the season. 77 RBIs now for Blackmon.
And 11-game hit streak now to boot.
Watch DJ. He'll take a little walk, regroup with a 2-strike count. Very little concern and certainly no panic for him.
Most guys are shaking in their cleats right now because they got 2 strikes. DJ's up. No, it's just like he's got his sandals on at the beach. I'm calm. I'm good.
Cardullo at third, Blackmon at first. 3 runs on 4 hits here in the second for Colorado.
As efficient as Brett Anderson was in the first inning, not so much this inning. That's right. The honey badger don't care. That's what DJ's. Go where you want. I'm not going to worry me.
On the ground to second. And Utley will throw out DJ to end the inning. But the Rockies produced 3 runs in the second. And they have a 3-0 lead for Tyler Chatwood.
wherever you may be. For 67 years, Dodgers and baseball fans have been treated to the call of Vin Scully, and today the Rockies presented Vin with the auxiliary scoreboard of the Dodgers signed by a bunch of the Rocky players. Nolan was able to present it to Vin, and this is what he said about it.
Well, it's important because, being from California, when you watch Dodger games, growing up, that's what we used to watch, and it's Vin Scully always speaking, and my parents, before them, my grandparents, they all love him, and they all appreciate what he did and how he spoke about the game, and it's just something that, it's been passed down to me, and it's something that now I know why my parents always said pay attention what Vin is saying on the TV, because he's talking about the right things in the game, and he knows what he's talking about.
It's always crazy when you look back to his very first game he called April 18th, 1950. It was the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Brooklyn Dodgers. Don Newcomb threw in that game, lasted 1 inning. Jackie Robinson was in the game. It should be an easy fly out to right field. But it's incredible. We got our chance to spend time with Vin today. And at the end of it, you just marvel at the man that he is and how good of a person he is. Hands down, the best human I think I've ever met. Guys?
Well, I know it was special for you the first time that you made an appearance against the Dodgers, and you wanted to race home and hear Vin Scully say your name. And you are in line with so many others who are fortunate enough to play in the big leagues and then have the incomparable Vin Scully talk about you.
Such a treat when you're able to go back and listen to that and just hear him say your name. That is, when it's all said and done.
This ball's well hit to left by Grandal. Going back is Dahl, and he leaps. It's gone.
Wow.
Yasmani Grandal with his 26th home run of the year. He's hit more home runs than any catcher in baseball.
And that's his 23rd hitting left-handed. That ball just kept going. I thought, okay, it's going to be maybe off the wall. But that takes a lot of strength to hit it the opposite way. Straight to left field. But he stays behind that ball nicely.
Three to 1 to score. Josh Reddick at the plate. Reddick got off to just a horrendous start in a Dodger uniform. He literally went weeks without driving in a run.
He still only has 3 RBIs.
Well, I was going to point that out. He's hit over 400 of late, but he has 1 home run and 3 RBIs. This is a guy that always has produced middle of the order kind of numbers.
For the A's, he hit 296, 8 home runs, 28 RBIs. Not a huge number considering 8 home runs, but just 3 here in Dodger blue.
Last 17 games, he is hitting .407, but it's not a real loud .407. This is toward the corner, and the catch is made by Dahl. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jock Peterson. So 3 balls in the air here in the 3rd inning. 1 over the wall.
Number 31, Jock Peterson.
Don't see that frequently 3 in a row against Chatwood. Airborne.
This is a guy that does try to hit the ball in the air.
A lot of loft in his swing. Chatwood on June 6th pitched at Dodger Stadium, and what a gem. He went 8 innings. He allowed a run on 1 hit. Just a 1.36 ERA at Dodger Stadium in his career.
Just 100 pitches thrown in those 8 innings for Tyler.
Grew up in Redlands, California. Always have to put the disclaimer out there. It depends on traffic how far away it is, but you know, maybe around 11 o'clock tonight you can get there in less than an hour. 3-0, and that misses. So a 4-pitch walk to Peterson, and that'll bring up Kendrick. Still works out in the offseason at the University of Redlands. Fans join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos, questions. Use Twitter or Instagram. And you must include the hashtag ToyotaTalk to reach us. Veteran Howie Kendrick, years with the Angels, moved up to 5 to Los Angeles a couple years ago. 0-1 on Kendrick. He's playing a lot of left field now, still some second base. Today he's at third base as Justin Turner is getting a day off. Also Yasiel Puig getting a day off. Yasiel's come back. Everybody thought he was going to be traded. He's come back from Oklahoma City with a vengeance. Hit a 3-run home run, in fact, early in last night's ball game to get the Dodgers going.
And I watched, you and I watched that game after we landed last night because it was going on. The home run was impressive, but I also know that later on in the game he flew out, but he ran hard, even rounding first base. I mean, it wasn't just a jog. And I think to me that told me, oh, he got it. He got what happened and why he had to go down. Or coach in any sport always has in their back pocket is they rule playing time. PT. You want some PT? You better earn it. Dave Roberts from day one, just like Walt Weiss has preached, that's a strike. It is all about team. And Dave's had to make some tough decisions this year. Ross Stripling had a no-hitter and he yanked him because of pitch count because he was coming off Tommy John. And then more recently, you had the perfect game being twirled by Rich Hill after 7. That just missed. And the trainers looked at his finger, and he's been battling blisters badly. And they said, you know, it's starting to get to the point where, you know, he could get a blister right here. And Dave said, I'm sorry, Rich. I know you're 35. I know this may be a once-in-a-lifetime deal, but we need you going forward, and he pulled the plug on that. Tough one to do, but those are the choices managers have to make. Ball slowly hit to short. Descalso makes the play. In the inning, a home run by Yasmani Grandal, and it's 3-1 Colorado as we go to the third. T-Mobile. Johnny Cueto strained a groin muscle Tuesday night. He'll miss his next scheduled start. He could rejoin the rotation next weekend when the Rockies, or actually before the Rockies leave town.
Rockies play their Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Rockies will be at home for their final 3 ball games against Milwaukee. A guy that's 17-5. They need Johnny Cueto. They wish they could have Cueto and Bumgarner throw every day.
Well, they also lost their shortstop for a little bit, Brandon Crawford, with the pinky, dislocated that and put it back into place. So they have to wait to see how that reacts.
Rockies fans aren't going to feel sorry for the Giants.
Not at all. No.
This ball's hammered to deep left center by Nolan, but it'll be caught out there by Jock Peterson.
Well, if you remember, Jock Peterson, especially at Coors Field, plays a very deep center field. So that's why it looked like off the bat it was going to be a gapper, but Peterson just slid over and made that catch.
So Cargo up with 1 out in the 3rd. We saw 1 pitch and lined it to center field to begin that 3-run rally last frame. Dodgers employ the shift as many teams do with Cargo. They keep Seager on the left side,
which we also see quite a bit, where the shortstop will stay there. They'll put the 3rd baseman over on the other side.
You have 2 natural second basemen over there, and Kendrick's actually the guy in the middle. He's the short fielder, even though he's playing 3rd tonight, and Utley is the guy closer to the second base bag. That almost hit the bag, which might have been an issue for Adrian Gonzalez. 2 outs.
That's why Adrian took a deep breath after he made that play, because you and I were seeing the same thing from up here, that if it's going to be real close to see if it kisses off the bag right there, but it didn't. It was just 6 inches in front of the bag, and then Adrian picks it and then drags his right foot over the top of the bag.
So Nick Hundley with 2 outs. He doubled to right field in that right field corner. Did not get an RBI because it was bobbled out there momentarily by Reddick. Cargo ran hard the whole way. I think they could have. This could have been scored either way, to be honest, whether the RBI was awarded.
And they might look at this again later on just to see, because if the guy runs hard and he wasn't stopped, it's hard to say, well, if he feels it cleanly, what's going to happen? Is the throw going to come in? But if he would have stopped or hesitated and then started winding him up again, then sure, it's no RBI.
Two strikes on Hundley. Nick, one of those guys that will be a free agent at the end of the year. And that's a fair ball. Hendrick throws it across. A 1-2-3 third inning for Brett Anderson. Middle of 3, the Rockies leading the Dodgers in LA 3-1. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Bank of America, life's better when we're connected. That is a shot of Vin Scully in 1950 when he began his 67-year career in the booth. At the time, as one of the Dodger broadcasters with Red Barber, and now for so many years by himself as the voice of the Dodgers. Moved out west in 1958. I'll tell you a story is Brett Anderson's at the plate, 1-1. Back in '64, the Yankees called the native New Yorker up and inquired, as this ball's hit to third, inquired if Vin would like to return to the Bronx and become the voice of the Yankees.
Interesting.
And he had gotten comfortable enough. He'd been out in Southern California for 7 years that, as we all know now, he turned down the Yankees.
Sure, that was a tough decision, tougher than anything for Vin.
I'll tell you another one. In 1970, Roone Arledge, running ABC Sports at the time, called up Vin Scully and said, we have this new entity that we're going to produce and go with. It's called Monday Night Football. And he wanted Vin to be the play-by-play voice of Monday Night Football. Didn't work out. As history has shown us, Vin was the voice of NBC Golf for a long time, and of course postseason baseball nationally, in addition to his duties calling Dodger games.
No doubt that he could have done football. He could do whatever he wants or wanted to do.
One strike on Utley. That's low. Well, many fans will remember one of the more famous calls in the history of playoff football in the NFL was when Joe Montana in 1982 threw that pass that everybody said, where's he throwing it to? And then Dwight Clark, yeah, emerged out of nowhere in the back of the end zone, caught the football and sent the 49ers to the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 16. That was Vin Scully on the call.
Yeah, that was over the Cowboys.
One and two.
I'm glad we've had him for baseball all this time.
He's never strayed from the Dodgers. Had his own show for a while. But the summers have always been about Vin Scully and Dodger baseball.
Well, in that game you were talking about between the 49ers and the Cowboys, that was his last NFL game.
Two and two on Utley, and he steps out. There literally was a line around the hallway, down the hallway, and out of the Vin Scully press box. It is named many, many years ago for Vin.
Well, you have to take Vin Scully way to get to the ballpark.
As it should be.
That's right.
(3-2), and that's fouled off, out of play. Spilly, I know you wanted to add something.
Oh, I got lots of stuff I can add. It's been an incredible weekend. Obviously, we know Vin Scully, this is his last week. It's also Tommy Lasorda's birthday, but in attendance today is Sandy Koufax. And there's Sandy right there. And it's pretty incredible when you talk to Vin Scully, talking about some of his favorite players that he's ever had the pleasure of calling. And Vin was only a couple years into his career when Koufax came. Thinking back to 1955 when Koufax first started pitching all the way to 1966 when he retired at 30 years old.
Well, always one of Vin's favorites was understandably Sandy Koufax, and they forged a lifelong friendship. How good does Sandy look? He's 80. Vin looks unbelievable. Vin will be 89 in late November. And as Spilly mentioned, Tommy Lasorda. Tommy looks great, celebrating tonight with his beautiful bride, his 89th birthday. Chatwood loses Utley.
They presented Tommy with a cake prior to the ball game tonight.
Number 60, Andrew Toll.
While we're talking about birthdays real quick, too, I mean, it's Tommy Lasorda's birthday, but our very own Paul Egan's. Very own.
It's Eag's birthday today, who does so much for so many for the Rockies. He's been with the organization since 1991, 2 years before a first pitch was thrown. And Eag's, for years now, has been the outstanding traveling secretary for the Rockies, and you will not meet a more pleasant person. That's fouled off by Andrew Toll. So happy birthday, Eags.
Toll's taking his time to step back in there after fouling that ball off his foot or shin.
Tag play at second, and Utley beats the throw by Cardullo. So there's 2 outs as Toll's grounds out, and Utley is at second base for Corey Seager.
Well, that was Stevens' only option, was to field that, step on the bag. But once he didn't have a throwing lane to go to second base. Got a little lucky that didn't hit off a back or a shoulder and then kick off, allowing Utley to move up. So right now he doesn't have a lane, so he's throwing right over the top of the runner as he's going into the bag. And it hits off the right elbow of Chase Utley on the Subaru Supermo, but travels only 7 to 8 feet away.
On Seager, and he fouls that back. 1-1. So Chatwood working ahead 1-2. '96. As he reached, notice that he reached back.
I saw that. That's what Tyler has the option to do, to add an extra mile on his fastball, take some off, get some sink. He pitching 92 to 94, but reach back and get another mile an hour if he needs it.
That was a 95 check swing by Seager. Seager was 6 for 12 in the series against the Giants, including a double, which was his 40th of the year.
Multi-hits last night. He's had that 56 times this year. Multi-hit ball games.
Rockies up 3-1. Here's the 2-2. And with a cutter in. And it's 3-2 on Seager. They come in, strike 3. Beautiful pitch to end the inning at 95. Corey Seager called out. You can see on the Subaru strike zone, it was on the inside corner. Great pitch from Chatwood. Utley left at second. 3-1. Rockies off to the 4th.
This is Chris. He's from Downey Turner. We got 3 fridges. First of all, we got the snack rack and 3 refrigerators. Going to give you 3.
Earlier today, Jenny, it's conceivable, not likely, very unlikely in fact, but it's conceivable that 6 teams could tie for the wild card spot.
Not fun trying to figure that out logistically.
All right, you play here, then the winner, you play there, and then you fly across the country. How about that?
Well, we're talking about Paulie. How about the traveling secretaries that have to arrange all of that?
0-1 on David Dahl. He singled his first time, and this is going to be a ground ball to second.
Fans, you want to get your tickets now for the Fan Appreciation Fireworks, courtesy of Great Clips on Friday, September 30th, after the Rockies take on the Milwaukee Brewers.
Steven Cardullo worked out a walk in that 3-run second for the Rockies. 3 straight ground balls induced now by Brett Anderson. Well, in the National League, there are 3 teams for the 2nd straight day tied in the wild card race, as the Giants, Cardinals, and Mets all lost yesterday. So all 3 of those clubs are 80 and 72.
St. Louis off tonight. San Francisco's at San Diego, and the Mets are hosting Philly.
Jose Reyes, with the Mets down 2 runs in the 9th inning, hit a 2-run home run to get them to extra innings. Did you see that play that Ender Inciarte made yesterday when it looked like the Mets were going to come from behind and walk off the Braves with Yoenis Cespedes at the plate?
Yeah, Cespedes hit that one to center, maybe a little right center, and Inciarte robs him over the wall.
High fly ball to shallow right. Easy play for Josh Reddick. And even if it hits off the wall, these are runners at first and second. They were moving with 2 outs. The 2 runs are going to score, and the Mets would win in that fashion. But it would have been a 3-run homer, and he went over the wall. An unbelievable catch as Inciarte robbed Cespedes, and the Braves swept the Mets
in New York.
Yeah, none of those teams are playing dominant baseball here in the waning days of the season. Descalso takes a breaking ball for a ball. The Mets are 5-5 their last 10. The Rockies beat the Cardinals yesterday 11-1. The Cardinals are 5-5 their last 10. The Giants are 3-7. Daniel Descalso with a base hit to left. And lately, Walt keeps writing Descalso's name in the lineup because he's forced his way in the lineup. It's not a knock on Christian Adames, but Descalso, every at bat, has been hitting the ball hard.
As well he should. He had the sacrifice fly, his first at bat. Then he takes a knuckle curveball from Brett Anderson, waits back, and then sharply singles it to left field.
That clears Chatwood here in the 4th inning. Tyler is dangerous with the bat.
I mean, yeah, sometimes you think, well, it clears it and you'll have the top of the order start out next inning, but Tyler has 10 hits on the season, 10 for 50, or 10 for 49, excuse me.
Yeah, he's not up there just to get the at bat over with. He's trying to do some damage. Bobbled by Ott.
No way. That is amazing. No way he just did that. We're going to see this play for a long, long time.
I am stunned. He just flipped that backwards. He didn't even know where he was flipping it to. Or maybe he did.
Are up 3-1, and you saw Chase Utley a moment ago. Well, this is going to be a play you're going to see for a long, long time on a lot of highlight reels. Might be the player of the year when you look at this, because he flips this, no look, right on the money to Adrian Gonzalez. He boots the ball, now he's scrambling. Oh no, I'm in trouble. No, I'm not, because I know where my first baseman is. That is a remarkable play.
That could have turned comical. I mean, that might have floated, who knows, right or left or over his head,
and then
toward
the catcher,
dugout. And remember, Descalso's in front.
Yeah, so he could turn around. That was a play that I have not seen a second baseman make, where he's no look into first base.
You didn't have that in your bag of tricks,
no,
huh?
I didn't.
You probably had it, but you didn't have the guts to do it.
That's the key. Just have the guts to try it. One more look, and now right now he's like, I just have to flip it. I got to get rid of it. And it's like, ho hum, no big deal, no smile, nothing.
That was crazy. 2-0 on Adrian Gonzalez, 3-0 on Adrian Gonzalez. 4, 5, and 6 for the Dodgers in their half of the fourth inning, with the Rockies up 3-1. And another walk. That's 3 walks. And Tyler Chatwood, Grandal coming up.
Grandal hit his 26th home run of the season last time. It's a hit to left field.
I've seen this before with Tyler battling some command, but he's able to work around it often because of his ability to get ground balls. Just a hard guy to square up. And that's
almost on cue. Yeah, that's
fouled off.
That's the key for Tyler.
One ball, one strike.
Nolan didn't even budge when he saw Grandal start to lay down a bunt.
Wasn't buying that?
No. You can't fool me.
Rocky shift for Grandal, and he finds the one opening on that right side.
Tyler did his part. He got the ball on the ground and just found a hole. But now with first and second, Nolan will have to think about Josh Reddick. Does he have that in his bag of tricks? Could he lay down a bunt?
A strike on Reddick.
It was indeed a strike on the Subaru strike zone.
And he tried to want more for
Thank you.
And it's 0-2 on Reddick.
Thank you, Josh, for trying to bunt with one strike. I'm not a big fan of that. Because now if you foul it off, you're 0-2. Or if you're Tyler Chatwood, you'll take it.
Good hard sinker at 94, 1-2. Just did get a piece.
to tell with Tyler if that was a cut fastball or a slider. It's a little bit harder at 90 miles an hour than what he averages on a slider, which is 87.
Yeah, you can tell his arm feels good tonight, Huey.
The extra zip on everything.
Reddick at the plate, career high of 32 home runs back in 2012. 20 last year for the A's. This ball's lifted to center. It'll be an easy play for Blackman. 1 out. I want to bring up Jock Peterson, another left-handed bat. He walked his first time.
Jock Peterson.
Outside, ball 1.
Because of that uppercut swing that Jock has, he's only grounded into 4 double plays this year. So it's an uppercut swing, trying to hit the ball lifted, but he also strikes out at the top.
Yeah, a lot of swings and misses.
Like that.
Like that. 1-1. He was back in the equation, sort of, for the Dodgers. He's trying to get his timing back offensively. He's been out the whole year. Is Andre Ethier.
He looked good during batting practice today. You and I were watching that.
Chatted with him for a while.
Just doing what he does.
Yeah, but you know this, Huey, from coming back from injuries when you were playing, that this time of year there's nowhere he can go to get at bats. He got about a 40 at bats at Rancho Cucamonga, and this isn't while I was out for a couple of weeks. He was out the whole year, so he said it's really been a battle, and just trying to do what he can to find some rhythm at the plate when given an opportunity. The outfield's crowded in LA. 2-1. It's 3-1.
Be an understatement, because he not only came out of his shoes, it looked like the shirt tail got untucked from the pants. The only thing that was missing was the helmet flying off. That was Reggie Jackson-esque.
Three and 2 on Peterson, 2 on and 1 out. And he got him with a slider down and in. And he missed that by a foot. 2 outs.
All 3 that he swung at were sliders.
47.
3 strikeouts for Chatwood. And Howie Kendrick will come up. The Coors Light and Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. How good has Tyler Chatwood been on the road this year? Lowest ERA in Major League Baseball at 1.77. For the Rockies, the next closest with a minimum of 10 starts was Jolie Chassin in 2013 at 2.44. Even in 2010, when Ubaldo was among the best pitchers in the game, he ended up with a 2.63 on the road.
See the other name on that list we'll tell you about in a minute? Marvin Freeman. Remember we were talking about the big sexy Jamie Wright?
The big handsome.
The big handsome, I mean. Big handsome, yeah. Marvin Freeman was the one that nicknamed him that.
He coined, and it stuck.
Uh-huh. Big sexy's Cargo from Big Papi.
That's right. Bouncer to third. Nolan on the move, throws out Kendrick. And that will end the inning. A hit and a walk. Good pitching by Tyler Chatwood. We go to the 5th with the Rockies up 3-1. Top of the order for the Rockies as well.
Out of town scoreboard at Coors Field.
Oh my
you know the
God,
Dodgers
sure.
Symbol here for out of town scoreboard. We all signed.
All teams, yeah.
That's wonderful.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
that's great.
a small token.
Well, it's a big token, believe me. I appreciate it immensely. I really do. And good luck. God bless.
Vin Scully, this was about 3.5 hours before the ball game today in the booth right next door to us. Walt, Nolan, Adam Ottavino coming up, and others to say hello and in a way goodbye, but to wish you know Vin will be around, and he has made so many great memories for so many people through the years. And Walt was kidding him during their visit today. He said he asked him what were some of his more memorable calls, and Vin naturally mentioned the Kirk Gibson home run in 1988. And Walt said, I was hoping you wouldn't mention that. Because I still get nightmares about that. Of course, that was when the Dodgers in Game 1 beat the heavily favored Oakland A's, and the starting shortstop for Oakland naturally was Walt Weiss. Walt told us afterward that they went back inside to the old clubhouse here at Dodger Stadium,
Which we walked through today.
It's no longer in use. Here's the 1-1 to Charlie. It's inside 2-1. And he said nobody said a word. Everybody sat in front of their locker for a good 20 to 30 minutes. Nobody got up to shower. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. And he said for the 20 minutes, one of the things that dawned on him was that it was still as loud in the stadium as it was a moment after Gibson hit that home run, that improbable home run, or as Vin, as only he could say, in this season of the improbable, the impossible has happened.
Well, and for that too, you know, where the locker room is and how much concrete is encasing that locker room.
Yeah.
To think that they can still hear that even deep down in the recesses here at Dodger Stadium.
3-2. And strike three. Frozen with a curveball. Here's some more of what Walt said today after the meeting with Vin.
I was a shortstop the night Gibson hit the home run, and that you know, that's not a fabrication. There was a little while there where that was my biggest nightmare, man. So Vin Scully was like my Freddy Krueger, you know. And I could hear that call, "She is gone," you know, and so I told Vin I still wake up with cold sweats hearing that. He apologized for it, but that was a big moment in baseball history.
It was a big moment in baseball history because the Dodgers were decided underdogs. Gibson was in his first year, signing a free agent deal after leaving Detroit. He had led the Tigers to the World Series in '84. They'd gotten off to that 35-5 start, and then on one leg he hit that home run, and the Dodgers would win that series in 5 games. Oral Hershiser, who calls the games, is one of the analysts for the Dodgers. Bulldog had just a phenomenal year. That's when he broke Don Drysdale's record for scoreless innings and went on to be the MVP of the World Series.
Hitting this.
In a year that has been.
This ball launched to deep left center, and this one is gone. DJ LeMahieu with his 11th of the year. And the Rockies get that run back. It is 4-1. Well, a couple of years ago, some would have said, well, it's improbable to think that LeMahieu would hit that many home runs, but DJ with his 11th.
Well, and where he hit it tonight, too. Stays back on the knuckle curveball, and it gets everything through that. Now a 38 on base game streak going for DJ.
Whatever you need, whatever time of the evening it is, he seemingly will provide it. One, and this is popped up foul territory, and it's going to move out of play, fortunately for Nolan. 1-2. Strikeout and a line out tonight for Nolan. Didn't chase up high. 2-2. Now this time of night, they hit the ball out basically to center field. Takes some doing.
Over 400 feet where he hit it. And with that home run by DJ, it's up to 351 again.
And Daniel Murphy sitting out again tonight. Line shot, but it's at Utley. 2 gone. Actually, Murphy's sitting out because the Nats aren't playing, but it's a question mark whether he'll be in the lineup tomorrow.
He's been dealing with a sore backside after a slide.
Cargo a base hit and a roller to first. Fastball for a strike. One and one. Seager across the diamond gets Cargo. In the inning, the Rockies had a run on a DJ LeMahieu home run, his 11th of the year. Colorado 4, the Dodgers 1, middle of 5. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. A reminder, the day after every Rockies win, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Tonight would apply. Use the promo code ROXWIN at papajohns.com. 9-1-2 for the Dodgers. Rob Segedin is going to pinch hit for Brett Anderson here in the 5th. And Chatwood throws that slider just off the plate, ball 1 on Segedin. One and one.
For Brett Anderson tonight, 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 6 hits. And 1 walk.
On the outside corner. Wow, that was close.
Well, close enough that it should have been a strike on the Subaru strike zone.
And that's 3-1. You're not going to believe this from New York. So Philadelphia was up 6-4. Reyes hits a 2-run home run to tie it in the 9th. In the 11th, the Phillies go up 8-6.
Right.
In the bottom of the 11th, the Mets put 2 on, and Asdrubal Cabrera hit a 3-run walk-off home run. (3-2), and this is topped foul.
Well, have you planned your holiday party yet? Well, with unique indoor event spaces and the views of the snow-capped mountains, Coors Field has a perfect space to celebrate the season. For more information, call 303 Rockies and book your holiday party at Coors Field.
.76 pitches in for Chatwood. And he got him on a slider. Boy, he's got a good slider tonight. He's got a live fastball as well. 1 out, 4th strikeout.
Well, the last 2 strikeouts for Chatty have come on the slider. The one to Jock Peterson, and now look at the tilt on the Subaru Supermo on that slider to get Segedin.
That'll bring up Utley. Single and a walk tonight for Utley. And the blind flip to first, which you'll be seeing for weeks on end.
If not months and years on end.
Chatwood has limited the Dodgers to a run on 3 hits. Curveball for a strike. Doesn't throw it much, only about 5% of the time.
I like that get me over curveball.
Yeah, Chatty with the good slider tonight. That's been a consistent theme, Huey, here in the month of September.
Well, the whip percentage on it in September is 43%.
Just missed, or no, it's called a strike. Good deal. 0-2. Been 94 to 96.
An easy 94 to 96. See a whole lot of extra effort tonight from Tyler.
Curveball, beauty. Another strikeout. 2 gone in the 5th, and that'll bring up Andrew Tolles.
There's just something about this Dodger mound for Tyler. 5 starts, 136 ERA. And now here's another curveball. Try to hit it, Chase Utley. Can't.
Perfect location.
Started at the mid-thigh, comes out of the hand looking like a strike, and then ends up down at the ankles.
Tolles gets 1.
Why
and it's
not?
0-1.
You're feeling it. You have that release point. The baseball feels great in your hands. You have the seams, everything that you want. So for Tyler, it's just another tool in his tool belt.
And it's called again. We're going to go slider now. And you get a pop up on the left side. Descalso shuffling his feet. great inning from Tyler Chatwood. 1, 2, 3 in the 5th, 2 strikeouts to boot. We go to the 6th. The Rockies up 4-1. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Before the ball game, special guest in the booth. That is the daughter. You can't really see it, but that's Clayton Kershaw. And that's his baby girl. Been playing a little patty cake. Clayton Kershaw will go in a couple of nights against the Rockies. Each time out, he's being allowed to throw more pitches. He's getting far away from being able to throw a full complement.
Took him pretty far in his last start against the Giants and Madison Bumgarner in that ball game.
Josh Raven is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. Rockies got 4 runs in 5 innings, all of them earned against Brett Anderson.
A few different times this year, Josh Raven has been on the DL.
Hundley at the plate, Nick a double and a ground ball to third.
Not many innings for Josh. Did have some down in the minor leagues. Pretty glowing number when you look at the 10 strikeouts in just 7 innings and only 3 walks.
Got a big arm, 97 with that fastball. The Rockies are getting another good game out of Tyler Chatwood. In 7 games now, they've allowed just 14 earned runs at Dodger Stadium against LA. And overall, their team ERA against LA this year is .396. They've outscored the Dodgers this year. They've out-hit the Dodgers, but they're 7-8 in the season series. Rockies have a chance still to finish above 500 against the NL West. They're just a game under 500, in fact, 34-35 this year inside the division.
Well, it all comes down to the pitching. I mean, it always does. It always has. But this year, You know, when in the series against LA, like you said, 3.96 ERA. That's going to win you a lot of games against them because you have to go toe to toe.
Raven with the strikeout of Nick Hundley. That'll bring up David Dahl. Dahl is 1 for 2. See what Spilly's up to, right?
Yeah, you guys, you've seen a lot of pictures over the week so far of like Clayton Kershaw coming up and saying goodbye to Vin Scully. Big Papi came up a couple days ago. Bruce Bochy, Legends, came up and spent some time chatting with Vin. It's been pretty amazing, and as we've been talking throughout the night, there is a long line just to come and pretty much kiss the ring of the greatest caller of baseball games I think any of us have ever listened to.
Tolles down the line, makes the catch on the fly ball by David Dahl. Well, Vince, bride of many years, Sandy at the ball game tonight. I'm sure she'll be here all weekend long. The other thing about Vin, always impeccably dressed.
Always.
You can't really see, but that's Boyd.
Boyd Robinson, yeah.
Yeah, Boyd has been with Vin for years and years. Good shot of Boyd. And Sandy, his wife, sitting directly behind Vin. Boyd's like Dodgers version of our Dougie. And there's Robbie. He heard that you're on camera, so he left his position to.
Well, they've been with Vin for 25 years.
Yep, you walk into the booth, say hello to Vin. The whole gang's in there every night. It's a good slider from Raven.
Both Boyd and Rob are going to be back next year. It's good to. We'll miss Vin, obviously, but we still get to see Boyd and Rob.
That's great. 1-1 on Steven Cardullo, and Cardullo rifles this to left, and it's caught on the run by Tolles. Not fair sometimes, this game of baseball. 4-1, the Rockies leading middle of 6. Here's this week's CenturyLink High-Speed Challenge poll question. We introduced it yesterday in their 23 full seasons. How many times have the Rockies had a hitter finish in the top 5 in the National League batting race? 20, 17, or 23? Go to RootSports_RM to vote. Rockies currently have 2 in the top 5. They have the number 1 guy and the number 3 guy, DJ LeMahieu and Charlie Blackmon. Corey Seager at the plate. Corey, a 6-4-3 double play, and he struck out looking on a fastball in the inside corner against Chatwood. Here's the 0-1, and that's a fly ball to left. Dahl will make the catch. Next up for the Dodgers, Adrian Gonzalez.
Now 85 pitches for Tyler. 48 strikes, 37 balls, but the last 2 innings, so you kind of go back to after that, a couple guys on in the 4th inning. He's retired the next 7.
Fastball in the inside corner for a strike. See that good sinking movement and run on the Chatwood 2-seamer. 1-1. Well, so many stories will be told about Vin Scully for years and years and years, and so many, I'm sure, this weekend naturally. Vin Scully, when he was still doing football at CBS, the executives at CBS were trying to decide who they were going to pair with John Madden, who they felt, this is a hard shot off of Cardullo. It's going to be a hit, I presume. It's a tough play for Cardullo. Wait and see how they score that.
To see where this went off of.
I think it's got to be a hit.
To go off the glove. See from this angle, because Karam's so far away from him. Been the wrist. It's a glove with the leather would have softened the bounce.
And Grandal's at the plate. He's 2 for 2. The home run to left and a single.
And it is a base hit for Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yeah.
A tough play. 0-1. Let's finish that story. CBS thought, rightfully so, that they had a star in the making as an analyst in John Madden, and they were trying to determine who they wanted to pair with him. And they had Vin Scully work with him for 4 games. They had Pat Summerall work with him for 4 games, and it was kind of disjointed a little bit because of Scully's schedule. This ball slicing to left. Long run for Dahl in that corner, and he can't make the catch. It goes off the wall. Gonzalez to third, Grandal to second. That's a dangerous area. The fence right down the line is only about 3.5 feet high.
Yeah, and that's what spooked David as he was going over there. As he's going after it, it was a flat slider, one of the few flat sliders he's throwing tonight. David starts to reach up for this ball and then pulls the glove back right here, and then
that's weird.
Yeah, it's just the not knowing the ballpark. He had run so far. He went out there during batting practice and was seeing what that's like, but then as that ball's starting to come down, he pulls the glove back.
Yeah, I think you're right. Again, it's not your home ballpark. Spooked maybe by the wall. And also, Spilly, you played out there. Spooked, not just, it's one thing if the wall's 8 feet high, but when you feel like you're going to get undercut, that's got to be unnerving.
There's a lot that makes you unnerved at Dodger Stadium. Number one, it's a symmetrical outfield. So it's the same in left field as right field. But the foul lines are very close to the wall, just like in Chicago at Wrigley Field. And this is by far the loudest field in stadium because those guys, those fans, they feel like they're right on top of you. None of us have ever felt comfortable playing on the corners here at Dodger Stadium.
Well, they just, Spilly, we just flashed that up on the graphic. They ruled that an error. How can that be an error? He didn't put a glove on it.
I don't know, maybe because they thought Alligator armed it right before he hit the wall. Catchable ball. Take a peek at it. It's a catchable baseball, and if he keeps the glove up, he catches that ball. But like I said, those fans are loud. And you get to that corner, and you know that it's just a step, and you're running into the wall in foul territory. It's a tough outfield.
Josh Reddick's at the plate. He's hit the ball in the air twice, once to left, once to center. Chatwood has struck out 5 tonight. Boy, in a perfect world, he'd love to get a punch out here. 4-1 Colorado, 2 in scoring position. 1-1.
If he does hit the ball in the air, you don't have very good speed at third base in Adrian Gonzalez. So if it's not too deep, you could keep him from scoring with a strong throw. But I like your theory. Just strike him out. Take matters into your own hands, Tyler.
One-two, and it's slowly hit up the middle, and they get him at first. Good play by Descalso. That little floater cleared Chatwood, and Gonzalez scores to make it 4-2.
Well, bat was broken. Just a soft liner right over the head of Tyler. Subaru Supermo, he tries to reach up and get it, but once it got by him, Daniel had to come in to make the play. But Adrian Gonzalez saw the fly to the baseball, so as soon as it went over Tyler's head, he scampered home.
Jock Peterson, a walk and a strikeout. Chatwood nearing 100 pitches in the ball game, and he's due up second next inning, so there's a decent likelihood that this could be all. Sliders down low. You have Kendrick, a right-handed batter, on deck.
Jordan Lyles he's ready to go.
Righties hitting 13 points lower against Chatwood than lefties, and he walks him on 4 pitches. So it's first and third, and now you get Kendrick, the right-handed hitter, up, who's grounded out to the left side twice.
Soft ground balls tonight for Howie. 1 to short, 1 to third.
Good fastball.
And Howie was taken the whole way after the 4-pitch walk to Jock Peterson.
Bouncer to short. Descalso runs to the bag. That ends the inning. Good job of pitching by Chatwood. He gets out of the traffic jam, gives up just 1. 4-2 as we go to the 7th. Descalso will lead it off. Dodgers too, and it's Luis Avilan, one of 37 left-handers that Dave Roberts has at his disposal in their bullpen.
In September, isn't that the way it is for everybody? You have they have 6 left-handers in their bullpen and 8 right-handers.
They've got enough for a triple header if one breaks out. Descalso, a sac fly to deep left and a sharp single left. Daniel continues to swing it with authority. Tom Murphy's come out in the on-deck circle to hit for Chatwood. Strike one.
Luis a little bit like Brett Anderson, that he's not an overpowering left-hander coming out of the bullpen.
Left field for Tolles. So that'll bring up Tom Murphy to pinch hit.
Pinch hitter number 23, Tom Murphy.
He's hitting a home run every 8 at-bats in his big league career. He's got 8 in 64 ABs. That's pretty good.
Well, the last time he came to the plate yesterday, he hit a home run, a 3-run bomb to right field off of Jonathan Broxton. Shows you the strength of Tom Murphy.
Got to finish that story real quick we were talking about with Vin and the auditions with John Madden. Summerall had 4 and Scully had 4. Again, it was a little disjointed because of both of their schedules. Summerall on golf and Vin with baseball. And CBS opted to go with Pat Summerall as the partner, as we all know now, with John Madden. But either way, it would have worked great for all of us and for CBS had it been Vin Scully and John Madden. This ball is hit off the end of the bat, but it's still deep in left field, caught in the middle of the warning track by Tolles, and there is a true example of how strong he is. That was not off the barrel.
No, and it didn't sound like it was either.
For the field number 19, Charlie Blackmon.
Fans, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. You can join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices.
Charlie takes a breaking ball for a strike. Charlie, an infield hit in the second that produced a run. So he's 1 for 3, an 11-game hitting streak. The run he drove in, his 77th ribby of the year.
He's looking for his first career hit against Luis. 0 for 4. It's nice when you have one of those 11-game hitting streaks, hitting .432. As you said yesterday, Drew, that's 5 times this year he's had a hit streak of 10 or more ball games.
He's had some kind of year. He's had 3 wonderful years. Just keeps getting better. 1-1. Called a strike. 1-2. They've changed, and rightfully so, that ball that was called an error on David Dahl that he didn't touch to a double for Grandal.
One more look, and right now he starts to feel the pressure of the wall. Pulls the glove back. It'll add an extra earned run to Tyler's final line. Still for Tyler tonight, 6 innings, just 2 earned runs.
4 hits. And Avilon strikes out Blackman. So it's a 1-2-3 7th inning for Luis Avilon. 8 in a row set down by the Dodgers, but the Rockies have a 2-run lead. Time for the Kubota pitching performance of the night. Tyler Chatwood has the Rockies in front in the 7th. 6 solid innings. 2 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts for Chatwood, as he continues to pitch very well in his career at Dodger Stadium. His 6th career start here. Came into the ballpark with a 1.38 ERA. 9-1-2 for the Dodgers. The Rockies have Jordan Lyles now on the mound, and here's the aforementioned Andre Ethier to pinch hit. And he's very popular here in Southern California. Big round of applause when he was announced. Again, he's missed 5.5 months. And Ethier this year has just 15 at-bats. 1 hit so far. This ball hammered to deep right toward the corner, and it is going to take a hop off the warning track and go over the wall. It's a ground rule double.
Well, that's what you do when you're just asked to be a pinch hitter. You only have 15 at bats. You have to treat each and every one just like he does here, where he hops on the first pitch he sees. It was a slider, but it didn't have any rotation, no depth, no bite to it, so it just spins up there like a BP fastball for Ethier. Get it off the warning track, and that will be it for Jordan Lyles. 1 pitch, 1 hit. We'll go to the left-hander, Boone Logan.
Here's our Cooney Lexus. Look back. Nick Hundley with a double early in the ball game to score Carlos Gonzalez in the second. They said it was an error when he picked up the baseball, so it was not an RBI. Cargo had singled prior to that. Opposite field home run, Yasmani Grandal. Grandal's been the hitting star for the Dodgers tonight. He's 3 for 3. DJ LeMahieu took a curveball over the center field wall to extend the Rockies' lead at the time to 4-1. Dodgers got another run last inning. It's 4-2. Now they have a leadoff double, and Ethier two-bagger, just a second hit off Jordan Lyles. Boone Logan's been summoned. Utley was due up, and he's been called back. And Justin Turner, in most days, hits in the 3-hole for Dave Roberts. He will pinch hit.
3 for 7 pinch hitting, including a home run. Andre Ethier at second base after the ground rule double.
And a strike on Turner. The Dodgers turned it around in the second half, even without Clayton Kershaw, because their offense all of a sudden really produced. And the redhead Turner was in the middle of the storm. He got off to a very slow start. This is going to be an easy play for Cargo, but tagging will be Ethier, and he's not going to challenge the arm of Carlos.
He didn't even come off the bag. He didn't even bluff, say, I'll take 2 or 3 steps.
Andrew Toles has been called back, and it'll be Yasiel Puig.
I'm not even going to fake that I'm going.
This is what he did last night in his first at bat against Matt Moore. Moore didn't even want to look. This thing was hammered.
The first row of the bleachers in right center field.
Slider gets past Hundley, and Ethier didn't want to risk getting thrown out, so he plays it conservatively again and remains at second.
But not only do you lose your timing as a hitter, you also lose some timing being out on the bases and where the ball goes and how far you can go. You know, I know base running's a lot of instincts, but sometimes your instincts aren't there after missing so much time.
That's a great point. Puig's been much better as a starter, just 1 for 13 pinch hitting. That one was a home run. Fastball's in tight, 2-0. Yeah, the bat looks like that toothpick he's spinning in his hand. This is one strong guy. He looks like a linebacker.
You know who he reminds me of is Brian Jordan. Used to play for the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Falcons.
And Brian was a big guy. He's even bigger than Brian.
Right, but I mean, just size-wise.
Slider on the edge, 2-1.
Oh, they both could run. They hit for power. Let's keep that O for the Dodgers going.
Corey Seager's on deck. We will not pinch hit for him. He didn't offer it that. 3-1. It's amazing how things can change very quickly. Puig was sent out to Oklahoma City, and there was wild and rampant rumors that the Dodgers were going to trade Puig.
Remember, that was right before they came to Colorado.
And not only is he still a Dodger, but he has impacted them in a positive way these last couple of weeks. Ball 4, so Puig tosses the bat aside. He'll go to first. It sets up a force all the way around, and Seager will come up. There's 2 guys from the left side they're not going to pinch hit for, and Boone Logan is really shrewd. Boone has been around a long time, And he's like, all right, I'm going to give it to Puig. I know I have Seager, and I know I have Adrian Gonzalez. And as wonderful as they are as hitters, it's still left on left, and Boone Logan ain't easy to hit for a lefty.
Especially with that slider, where the way it bites and runs away from the left-handed hitter.
That's a perfect move for Walt Weiss. All those lefties stacked up at the top of the lineup. He went to the ace of his bullpen for the left side, Boone Logan.
And that was another reason why Corey Seager hitting .250 off of the left-hander, .344 against the righties.
.1-0, swung on and missed. 1-1.
And that's the equalizer. That's the pitch for Boone. And he says, now it's ball's back in my court. Talk about some bite on the slide on the Subaru Supermo. That had it.
Lefties hitting .138 against Logan, 2-1. It's not like righties have exactly feasted on Boone at .180. Overall, a .153 batting average against. He has had a terrific year. 2-1. Swung on and missed on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
The way Corey swung at that, I had the impression that he was sitting on the slider because that tied him up.
Bottom of the 7, 2 on and 1 out. Here's the 2-2. Well, I think he's swing at it, but I think he's going to come back with another slider.
When I was just thinking at Corey, if I'm standing in the box, I got to sell out for the slider. So Boone has the two options: go back inside with the fastball, or throw the slider. Whatever he feels comfortable with, throw it with conviction.
3-2.
Check it.
They say no swing, and the bases are loaded for Adrian Gonzalez. It always seems to work that way for the Dodgers, that Adrian Gonzalez finds his way to the plate.
Oh, that was real close.
It was close.
That's where Boone wanted the pitch.
Ethier at third, couple of walks. Puig at second, and Corey Seager at first. Ethier doubled to begin the inning. There's 1 out, and inside on Adrian Gonzalez. Two and oh. As I said a moment ago, the game always seems to find Adrian Gonzalez, and one of the reasons he's one of the most feared RBI men in baseball. He's been a clutch hitter throughout his career.
Plays all the time.
He's never been on the DL.
It's a modern-day Iron Man.
2-0, and he swings at that slider, and it's fouled off. 2-1. Gonzalez has played 1 full season almost against the Colorado Rockies in his career. 160 games. He's driven in 128. But Boone Logan's had his number. 3 for 17. 3 and 1. So 3 fastballs and a slider. All 3 fastballs not in the zone. Yasmani Grandal's on deck.
Now the crowd's getting into it. Everybody on their feet here at Dodger Stadium.
Rockies up 4-2, bottom of 7. Walked 3 in a row, and Adrian Gonzalez will go to first. That'll force home Andre Ethier. 4-3.
85 RBIs for Adrian Gonzalez after that walk. Take you back to pitch by pitch to Adrian. The first pitch was a fastball, 94 miles an hour inside. And it's really the second pitch that kind of sets up the whole at bat. Another one inside 2-0, fouls off the slider at 84 miles an hour, and then a 94 mile an hour fastball down low, and then a slider down in the dirt. And Adrian Gonzalez takes off the shin guard and walks down to first base. You know, things have really gotten sticky here. The bases loaded and Grandal up.
Grandal tonight, a home run, a single, and a double, all from the left side. Not a huge difference in the splits for Grandal. He doesn't hit for a high average either side.
But he does have that power, more from the left side. Gets more bats that way. Still 3 home runs for Grandal, hitting right-handed. And that was a home run swing. But you still got the lead. You're still 1 pitch away from getting a double play and getting out of this thing.
He's ahead 0-2. First of 4 games here at Dodger Stadium for the Rockies. Trying to disrupt the Dodger momentum. 6 games up in the National League West. 0-2. Good block by Nick Conley.
A hard one for a catcher to block. The slider that's going to the back foot. You know you have an aggressive runner at third base. So Nick turns the glove over, goes right in there. But Puig at third's been dancing all down the line.
Well, as you know, Huey's got the luxury of doing that with the lefty on the mound.
And a right-handed batter.
Yeah. Fastball is topped foul.
I say a right-handed batter because, you know, it does block the view too of Nick behind the plate.
This is Boone's inning. Because after Grandal, you have Reddick. If we went beyond that, you have Jock Peterson. Set up for Boone. He understandably was careful with Puig. And then he lost Seager on the check swing on the 3-2 pitch. And then he lost Adrian Gonzalez. 1-2. The Dodgers grinding out at bats here in the 7th.
That's part of the reason why they turned it around in the second half, because of these type of at-bats.
drive, deep center field, and gone. A grand slam for Yasmani Grandal, who has had a career night. And the Dodgers go in front 7-4.
Second career grand slam for Grandal. 27th on the season, 69 RBIs, and his 20th home run he has hit here at Dodger Stadium on the season. Right on the Subaru Supermo, he was swinging, he knew it. We talked about his power. It's been on display tonight.
For 4 night for Grandal. 5 RBIs to boot. For LA in the bottom of the 7th inning. Boone Logan has been replaced by Jake McGee on the mound, and Josh Reddick will come up. 6 grand slams for the Dodgers as a club, and Yasmani Grandal. 2 home runs, a double and a single tonight.
It'll be up to Jake now to try to slow this down. 5 runs this inning. "55 games from Jake, trying to finish the year on a positive note."
Reddick's 0 for 3, and that's going to drop. Base hit.
Number 31, Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson. A strikeout and 2 walks.
With all the left-handers Dodgers had, Rockies had it set up. It all comes down to the 2 walks to Corey Seager and Adrian Gonzalez. As Andre Ethier, who led off this inning, had a double, the left-hander. Then Josh Reddick Right there with another single off of another left-handed pitcher.
Ball and a strike on Peterson. Dodgers are 49-28 this year at Dodger Stadium. Last year they won 55 games at home. I was reading this stat I'm about to pass along to you. I couldn't believe it. If the Dodgers win 50, which all they have to do is win one more game, obviously, at home, it'll be their first season at Dodger Stadium where they've won 50 or more back-to-back years since 77 and 78.
It's hard to believe, but with the winning percentage for the Dodgers, and this is the type of win percentage that you need to have, because they're one game under 500 out on the road. They're 37 and 38, but since 2013 they're winning at a 613 clip. I mean, they're right up there above the Cardinals, the Orioles, the Pirates, and then the Nationals coming in at just below 600. But that's the dominance that you try to achieve.
Runner going, Hundley's throw right on the bag, beautiful throw. He cuts down Josh Reddick. That was a perfect throw from Nick Hundley.
Third time Josh has been caught. Just watch the glove to hand transfer by Nick, how quickly he gets rid of it. And then Daniel's just saying, okay, come on in here.
Get here.
Just get here. Just slide into this tag.
3-1 on Peterson. .93-mile-an-hour fastball is fouled back. 3-2. So Tyler Chatwood left on the plus side. He'll get a no decision after going 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Lyles faced one batter charged with a run as he gave up a hit. Boone Logan in a third of an inning gives up 4 runs, 1 hit, 3 walks. Now another walk here in this inning as Peterson will go to first, and now the 9th man to hit here in the 7th will come up in Howie Kendrick.
4th walk this inning for the Rockies pitchers. Howie 3 for 5 career against Jake.
And the disappointing thing is 3 of the walks were left on left situations, which, you know, you had to like the matchup, certainly with Boone Logan, as good as Seager and Gonzalez are. And Boone is holding lefties to a 138 average. Kendrick hits this a long way to right. Cargo will have a play. Middle of the track, he makes the catch, but a big inning for the Dodgers. They put 5 on the board in the 7th. Now the Rockies have work to do offensively. They're down 7-4. On Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special. When the Rockies score 7 or more runs, they need at least 7 tonight. They trail 7-4. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, and Ryan Spilborghs. We go to the 8th inning. The Rockies will have LeMahieu, Arenado, and Gonzalez. Joe Blanton is now on the hill for the Dodgers. Justin Turner stays in the ball game. He's at third base. Howie Kendrick, who was at third, is back to his natural position. That's second base. And in left field, Yasiel Puig is in left now for Andrew Tolles.
It's a different Joe Blanton now, not the starting Joe Blanton. The 72 games that he's appeared in is a career high for him. It's tied for 6th in the National League. With an ERA .96, that's 8th in the National League.
Well, the last base runner the Rockies had, as that fastball touches the knees, it's 0-1, was DJ LeMahieu in the 5th inning when he was trotting around the bases. 8 in a row retired since then. And DJ lines this ball to center field. It'll drop, and DJ with a hard turn will stop as the ball was trapped on the dive by Jock Peterson. Another 2-hit night for LeMahieu, and a good start to the 8th inning as Nolan's coming up.
Bunch of big bats coming up behind DJ, but another night, another 2 hits for DJ.
Just watching this guy, and I know Murphy's had a great year and he's banged up a little bit right now. I cannot imagine the way he has swung the bat all year, but in particular the last 2 months. I can't imagine him not winning the batting title right now.
No, and it's remarkable because of every day you know he wakes up and says, oh man, I got Murphy here and I'm right here. It's got to be the first thing you think of in the morning when you get up and the last thing you think of when you go to bed at night.
But the way he's wired, you know this, Huey, I think he's just like, I'm taking one at bat at a time, and I'm going to be unbelievably prepared for that and let the chips fall where they may. And I think the pressure is going to be on Murphy, because every night he's throwing out 2 and 3 hits. And think of the outs.
Oh, I know.
Lately, they're hard outs. They're line outs. They're circus plays in the outfield, as we saw one yesterday.
And he's hitting .352 now. I mean, .352.
Well, the last 2 second basemen to hit above .349. One was Rogers Hornsby. The other was Rod Carew. Kidding me? 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nolan.
Hey, you guys talking about DJ and what kind of approach he gets when he wakes up in the morning. I've talked to him about it. He doesn't want to think about the batting race. He and Charlie Blackmon specifically say, we don't care about stats. We just want to go out and grind. It's like when you ask Charlie, hey, do you know you did really well last week? You're getting close to 30 homers. He goes, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear it.
But you know it's in the back of their mind. But these guys, all they care about, though, is I want to be better than what I was even my last at bat or you know, yesterday. It's all about moving forward, looking ahead, getting better for their team, for themselves. I mean, Charlie said it yesterday on the post-game show. He goes, you know what? I just want to be better than last year.
3-2 now on Nolan. Well, when your core guys are so committed to getting better individually and collectively, it's going to have a positive effect on all around them. Todd Helton was that way. I mean, late in his career, I've told that story many times. He told me once, I'm just trying to get better, and he was like 37 years old, and you're saying, okay, well, you know, you're probably respectfully past your prime, but it didn't matter to Todd. Called strike 3 by Marquez on Nolan Arenado, and that pitch was high.
You can plainly see on the Subaru strike zone that's not even close. I mean, you fit a couple baseball, or at least one baseball, between where that is and the strike zone.
That's mask high. That's
mask high, and then Grandal grabs it and then pulls it down.
Walt's coming out, and he must have gotten thrown out, because you can't argue balls and strikes. While we were throwing the replay and we were watching that, Walt got tossed.
This is where, again, an umpire just turned around.
Now, did he throw Nolan out or did he throw Wald out? That's what we don't know. We'll find out here if Walt hands his scorecard to Tommy Runnels. Spilly, did you see?
To me, it looked like he tossed out Nolan, and I'm with you, Huey. That's a situation where you're the umpire and you're Alfonso. Why are you watching him when he's walking back to the dugout? That's brutal.
I agree.
You make a bad call, make a bad call, but don't look at the guy.
But
That's
Walt's
brutal.
walking down the stairs, isn't he? Yeah, I don't think he threw Nolan out. Cargo fouls that off.
Well, Walt was standing on the top step there to protect Nolan, and Nolan's walking down the steps.
Maybe he got them both.
Are you kidding me?
You make a bad call, it's a bad call.
You know, wear it. Look the other way.
That's right. You see it in football all the time. They're just getting barked out on the sidelines. They turn around. You see it in hockey. Those guys are yelling at. I mean, there's the pitch on the Subaru strike zone. Pitch number 6. It was called a strike. Even if you thought, hey, it was close enough, just turn away.
2 strikes on Cargo.
These at bats mean so much to every player. You're grinding, you're fighting. You're down 3 runs in the 8th inning. These games are important to the guys, and you know what Nolan feels at the plate.
Exactly.
That's a rocket that is fair. Whoa. Why? I don't get that. Why did DJ just stand on the bag, get back to the bag? That turns into a double play. Gonzalez just knocked it down, stepped on the bag, and tagged DJ for a double play to end the inning. Alfonso Marquez threw out Nolan Arenado. Nolan was not tossed initially. Walt Weiss was. Watch Nolan. He's out on the field. He must have said something, and from 45, 60 feet away, he then threw out Nolan. And Stu Cola was walking across the diamond to go to the dugout, trying to prevent Nolan from getting close to Marquez. Tommy Runnels came out.
Smart by Stu just to get Nolan out of the situation. It's Billy, you're down there, and I'm sure what Nolan was doing was going back up to look at some video.
Exactly. When we saw Nolan go down the steps, he was going to check out on video where that pitch was located, and obviously he saw where it was located, and it wasn't a strike. Now, Nolan always runs out to third base and is one of the first guys on the field, so he wasn't running out just to yell at Alfonso, but as he was rolling out there, he said, you know what? I'm going to let him know.
I've got to get my money's worth.
Justin Miller to Micah Johnson. Johnson pinch hitting for Joe Blanton. Well, it had been going smoothly for the Rockies. The lead of 4-1 and then 4-2. There's now a 7-4 deficit. And the Rockies have lost their third baseman and their manager. Bottom of the 8th inning.
So that must have been outside. Now you start to question. That's what you get now after you've done something like that. You'll have guys looking in.
I mean, you think about that sequence. The pitch is not close, and the Rockies are going to have 2 men on and nobody out.
And Adrian Gonzalez isn't going to be playing where he was playing with DJ on the bag. So now if he hits that ball, now it gets by him possibly, and you get a couple guys.
It's down the line.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be off the line a little bit. And that was an absolute missile. That's a strike. 2-2. Six runs for the Dodgers in the last 2 innings. Again, what was cruising along as a really nice night for the Rockies has turned into a night of frustration. 3-2. Swung out and missed. Good fastball from Justin Miller. 1 out. That'll bring up Justin Turner for the 2nd time. He had a fly ball to Cardinal and right. Pinch hitting in the 7th.
Looking towards the top of the 9th inning, you're going to get Kenley Jansen. The Dodgers. Jansen
leads the National League in saves with 45.
45 saves in 68 games with a 1.81 ERA.
One ball, no strikes on Turner. This is playable. Towering pop left side. Christian Adames, who's come in for Nolan, will come and get it. There's a lot of wind that all of a sudden is kicked up the last half inning. Good job by Christian to hang with that.
Rockies dugout stores is a place for all things Rockies, and the only place you can get the Nolan Arenado Colorado bobblehead series. Looking out at the flags in center field now. I can see why Christian had a problem with that. Going in hard from left to right.
Here's Puig, and he takes a strike. He walked when he pinch hit last inning and would eventually score on the grand slam by Yasmani Grandal. Turned a 4-3 deficit into a 7-4 advantage for the Dodgers. 8 hits for LA, 7 for the Rockies. And a base hit for Puig.
Shortstop number 5, Corey Seager.
Corey Seager 0 for 3 tonight and a walk.
That walk was huge in the 7th inning.
3-2 pitch. He checked his swing.
He had 3 walks in a row. Think about some of the runs that the Dodgers have scored. Even that 1 run they scored in the 6th inning.
A balk was just called on Justin Miller.
Just started to flinch. That one's on Justin. Well, what I was going to say is you think about the runs that the Dodgers have scored here in the last 2 innings. Even in the 6th inning, you had the fly ball in left field. If it's caught, there's 2 outs, and they're not going to get a run that inning. And then 3 walks last inning. All 3 walks come around to score. Big grand slam by Grandal.
Two and one. Blackman will make the catch to end the inning. So we'll go to the 9th with the Rockies trailing 7-4. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. 7-4 LA, top of the 9th inning. The Rockies will see Kenley Jansen Chavez Ravine, but first we go to Denver. Here's Jenny and Corey. All right, Jenny. Nick Hundley's going to be first up for the Rockies. Nick, a double and a run scored back in the second. He's 1 for 3 tonight. David Dahl, Steven Cardulo.
There's the numbers for Kenley Jansen. As I mentioned, career high 45th save on Saturday in 51 attempts. That's tied for second in the major leagues. The whip of .85 or 6.5, excuse me. That's the best in baseball.
Nick looking for his first knock against Jansen. Two.
Kenley Jansen throws one of those fastballs, even though it's 93 miles an hour, it looks much harder than that.
And Kenley Jansen is an imposing figure on that mound. He's listed at 6'5". He's at least 6'5".
He drops and drives the backside that drops a hand behind his leg. Tough picking the ball up.
And swung on and missed. 1 out.
There's still time to sign up. If you've dreamed of becoming a Colorado Rocky, you can sign up for Fantasy Camp now, taking place at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick, January 31st through February 4, 2017. Visit Rockies.com/fantasycamp for details, and you want to make sure you do this and don't miss out on Fantasy Camp.
David Dahl tonight singled in the second and scored. 0-1. 1 for 3 tonight for Dahl. Jansen with the big arm and that cut fastball. Guys just don't pick him up.
Imagine him when he was catching and then seeing him trying to block the plate. Back when it was still allowed.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'5", 270.
Guys, I've faced Jansen many times before, and he does a couple things. Number one, you talk about his whip being so low. He only has 9 walks this season, but he doesn't throw the ball particularly at the right spot. He sprays his fastball all over the place, and that front side, to see it stays closed, it's almost impossible to see the ball coming out of his hand.
And he gets a strikeout of Dahl, 2 gone. And I just noticed, I haven't seen a guy do this. I can't recall when. He stands on top of the rubber. Did you notice that, Huey?
Yeah. He doesn't get in front of it, so it kind of shortens the distance, but also gets down into the dirt.
Watch this. He stands on top of it.
So
Half his foot's on top of it.
Most guys will put the outside edge of their foot against the rubber, not splitting it.
Some guys have been known to try to steal a couple inches closer to the plate instead of 60 feet 6 inches, maybe 60 feet 3 inches. I mean, you'll do everything you can to.
But more than anything, just
deceive the hitter.
Just the stress it puts on the ankle before you get ready to deliver the baseball. He must be used to it and comfortable doing that. It's just part of who he is and what he does.
1-0 on Cardullo. 2-0 on Steven. A walk, fly ball to right, a line out to left. Cardullo in the lineup. Inserted in late in the afternoon when Gerardo Parra came up sick. Two and two. Rockies tonight got off to a quick start, scored 3 in the second. Scored 4 runs altogether off of Brett Anderson in 5 innings, but they had gotten only 1 hit off the bullpen in 3 2/3 of the Dodgers. This ball's well hit, but it is right at Jock Peterson, and that'll end the ball game. The Dodgers come from behind tonight, and they have defeated the Rockies 7-4. They improved to 87 and 66. They chipped 1 notch off their magic number, which was 10 to begin the day to win the NL West. The Rockies fall to 73 and 80. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. With the Rockies ahead 4-3, Yasmani Grandal at the plate. He was 3 for 3 with a home run at that point, and then he hit his 2nd career grand slam, and that ultimately was the difference in the ball game. 7-4, the final on the Grandal grand slam. Boone Logan takes the loss for the Rockies, and Luis Avilan gets the victory for Los Angeles. Again, the final score, LA 7 and the Rockies 4. Here's Jenny and Corey back in Denver.